So if you're anything like me, you've probably wondered, why do certain types of content go viral while others don't? Why do certain marketing and promotion strategies work while others fail? Why are certain things more effective than others? Why is it that certain content pops while others just kind of fizzles out? So I think it helps to think of these things in the context of game theory. Game theory is basically the study of strategic decision making in competitive situations. It says that rational actors will make whatever decision is in their own best interest given the circumstances. The digital landscape, social media, and online content consumption is one big game. So let's say we have a game, and of course we have players in the game. In this case, the content creator and the audience. Now each player has their own set of preferences, goals, and strategies. So the audience's goal is to get the highest quality experience for their time and attention. If you're on Netflix, you want to spend the least amount of time to find the best movie that you can find. If you're scrolling through Spotify, you want to find the best artist with the best music as quickly as possible. That's literally why playlists exist. No one wants to sit there for 3 hours to find a mediocre song or show. Now, if you're the content creator, you want to have the most impact for the least amount of resources. You want your content, your music, your videos to go viral, break the internet, get as much publicity as possible, get as many sales as possible, using as little resources as possible. If you could drop a 1-second TikTok and sell out shows for the rest of your life and go 10 times platinum, you probably would do it. Now there's a ton of content talking about game theory, and they always use the prisoner's dilemma, mostly because I think that's the only example that most people are familiar with. But there's a ton of examples of game theory and games and situations in which game theory applies. So let's say in this game, the audience wins when they get the best content, and you win when you get the most impact. Like in any game, they have certain resources at their disposal. This would be time and attention. Think of these things like the life count or the energy bar. These are the things that you're competing for. Let's just say they have a set of special abilities, such as purchase, like, follow, as well as mute, block, and ignore. Now, you as a content creator, you also have resources at your disposal. These would be things like content quality, creativity, data, persistence, as well as time and money. And you have abilities too. You can drop new content. You can drop exclusive content. You can do giveaways. The caveat is these things cost time and money. So when you break it down like that, it's no wonder why certain people win the game. Why they are their audience's favorite artist or favorite YouTuber. Because they consistently come out with the best music over and over and over again, and their audience doesn't have to think twice about it. They know it's going to be good music that they like, thereby giving them the best experience for the least amount of time and attention. And because those creators deliver high quality content that's extremely creative and targeted to the people that want to see it, they can spend the least amount of resources in order to produce it. They don't have to waste time trying to win over an audience over and over and over again. They've proven to certain people that they can produce a certain type of content, and that audience appreciates that. They also may not have to spend as much money. I mean, some things just go further simply because they're more creative or tailored to the right audience. And that's how they win the game and continue to win. So that audience is almost always going to choose the best experience for the least amount of time and attention. And the most successful creators are almost always going to be the ones providing the highest quality content, using the least amount of resources to produce that content. It's not to say that you don't expend the resources. I mean, if you want $1 million movie to look like $1 million movie, you probably have to spend $1 million. But it means that that's probably the least that you would have to spend to get that high of a value or quality for that content. So as a creator, when you're trying to compete for that time and attention, if you have higher quality content that's more creative, you have an advantage. If you have content that's targeted exactly to who it needs to go to, and you've built a community of people that appreciate that content, you have an advantage. If they don't have to think twice about whether or not they want to watch a video because you consistently put up high quality videos that they just absolutely love, then you have an advantage. So when you're going up against your audience, you can think of it like, I'm gonna hit them with the super creative, super engaging combo, then follow through with the community and rewards to keep them invested in my content. It also helps you to realize when you can't or simply aren't competing. Given that same 5 minutes, would you rather watch your content, which is low budget, not creative, and risky because I don't know if I'm gonna be satisfied by that, or your favorite Marvel movie or an album or single from your favorite artist? Now, of course, every game has points, a high score, or a scoreboard. These are your engagement metrics that we all obsess over. Streams, followers, subscribers. We can analyze the data and the metrics to see the effectiveness of our strategies and adjust. You can track your likes, follows, click-through rate, watch time, streams, and use that to optimize your content for maximum impact. You can increase the value. You can make it more creative by making it more unique, or you can be more consistent. Now, in game theory, there's something called the dominant strategy. The dominant strategy is a strategy that is better than any other strategy, no matter how others may play. I would say in this game of attention harvesting, the dominant strategy is to create the highest quality content at the most consistent rate possible. Now, if you're an artist, maybe that means dropping a really solid project every year, or maybe even every quarter if possible. Maybe you drop a single every other week. You have to figure out what is the highest quality content that you can create on the most consistent rate possible, given your resources of time and money. And that's how you win the game. That's how you outcompete all your other different types of opponents. And make sure that people continue to consume your content versus the 1,000 other options that they have at any given moment. So that's what I plan to do on this YouTube channel, is to continue to provide you guys with high quality content, high value content. So if you like it, hit that like button, drop me some comments down below. Let me know if I'm on the right path. Let me know if this resonated with you. And if you want to work,